It took hard yakka to bring you this sports report.
Now to swimming. Kieran Perkins says his career is far from washed up despite failing to make the Australian team for next year's World Titles. The Olympic champion needed to finish in the top 2 in last night's selection trials in Brisbane, but finished 3rd behind Grant Hackett and Daniel Kowalski.
Billed as the race of the championships, the 1500 metres final saw a changing of the guard in Australian distance swimming. Perkins went into the event well underprepared, and both he and Hackett had a touch of pre-race nerves.
Oh, false start in the men's 15s.
In the early laps, Kowalski and Perkins tried to dictate the pace, but by the halfway mark, Perkins was already well behind. What turned out to be a major tactical error, Hackett swam with Kowalski for 1,000 metres before making his move.
Hackett is coming back at him!
From there, it became a race against the clock as Hackett hunted the 15-minute barrier. With fans urging him on, the Gold Coast teenager went for broke.
Close to 15, no 15, but Hackett takes out the showdown.
Despite finishing more than 20 seconds behind, Perkins says it's what he expected, while Hackett was upset he didn't break 15 minutes.
Tell me about it. 1 second now, you know, it's just not right, but next time around I'll be more determined than ever to do it.
That next time round is January's World Championships in Perth. Perkins won't be there, but says don't write him off. He says he'll be back for the Commonwealth Games next September.
Once I am fit and up and running, you know, it's up to the rest of the guys to try and keep up.
Not making excuses, Perkins says swimming hasn't been his priority this year. Marriage and fatherhood have come first.
And in other results from the pool on the final night, Susie O'Neill was a standout, blowing away the opposition in the 200 metres butterfly and recording the fastest time this year.
But Susie O'Neill goes in and she scores in the 200 fly, 2:08.09.
43 swimmers have been selected in the team. New South Wales dominates with 22. Michael Klim, our only world record holder. Just getting over their grand final celebrations, the people of Newcastle have reason to party again. In Super League's World Club Challenge, the Hunter Mariners are into the final after upsetting Cronulla 22 points to 18.
The sky lit up over Shark Park for what many thought was the Hunter Mariners' final fling, but hanging up the boots was the last thing on their minds.
What a try!
Cronulla was desperate for a second go at Brisbane, and when Richardson flew high, it was level.
Richardson takes it, puts it down.
At the other end of the park, and the Mariners edged back in front.
Dykes giving chase. He won't get there.
The Telstra Cup finalists were being ambushed by the Novocastrians until their skipper got them back in touch.
Goes for the corner.
Zisti thought he was at Madison Square Garden. It was Rogers who scored the points, though, a fingertip putting his side up by 6 early in the second half.
I think he's done it. He has. Brilliant individual.
The underdogs regained the momentum when Kamoli's second 4-pointer tied things up at 18 all.
He's got it down under the black dot.
A severe blow for Cronulla as Rogers left with a leg injury. But the crushing moment came a short time later.
Zisti getting close. He's in.
The Mariners unlikely 4-point winners. They now meet the Broncos for a shot at the $1 million winners' purse.
It's a bit of a fairy tale so far, but we've got a little bit of life in us yet.
A match-winning performance by Michael Bevan, Mark Taylor's return to form and a classic catch highlighted New South Wales' win over Queensland in the Mercantile Mutual Cup. Chasing Queensland's 230, Taylor top scored for the Blues with 70, Bevan's unbeaten 65, getting them home with 4 balls to spare.
Tails. From the toss, Healy's intentions were obvious.
Real.
Okay, mate. Here we go. But none of the top order heard his call. Stewart trapping Hayden for just 1. Law caught behind off McGrath for 22. Maher falling in similar fashion for the same score. Matthews and Simons exchanged pleasantries before the bowler cut short their conversation.
Got him, yes. It's worked for Greg Matthews.
For Matthews, hardly a hair out of place, and at 5 for 94, he knew the writing was on the wall for Queensland. But the home team escaped the Blues' clutches.
An absolute meal of it.
8 chances dropped, even Mark Waugh showing he's only human as the Bulls' tail wagged, boosting their total to 230.
Is it going to go over the top? All the way.
The chase was brief for Slater, caught by Simons. Taylor's knock more timely, as both Waugh brothers came and went.
Yes, that's out.
Taylor passed 50.
That's pulled deep.
The skipper scored 70 off 88 balls. Bevan and Emery seemed in control before Adam Dale's leap of faith.
Get close to it.
turn the whole game.
But Bevan kept cool. His unbeaten 65 included the winning boundary in the final over.
Well, he's a top player under pressure. Could do no more than that.
Jockey Danny Fram picked up a winning double at Gunnedah Races yesterday, taking out the last two events. It began in race 5, the Class 1 handicap over 1,400 metres.
And information, Rita Falaci throws out the challenge on the outside, and nothing is coming at it quickly further out, 200 metres out. Information is grabbed by Falaci on the outside. They're followed further on over near the inside, though. Information is still clear of Falaci and nothing, and Information is going to make it 2 in a row, I think.
Information winning to make it 2 from 2 starts and help jockey Danny Fram and trainer Wayne Lawson to a winning double on the day. Harness racing at Tamworth last night, our best the last, over 1,980 metres.
The leader, Tarita Pete, moves up on the outside to throw out the challenge. They're clear at the moment of Storm Warden and Murray Dancer at Sandmaster, and Tarita Pete on the outside pokes its head in front, and coming again Sandmaster, Tarita Pete, they hit it.
Just a half head separated the Sally Torrens driven Tarita Pete from Sandmaster and Murray Dancer.
Boxing made a welcome return to Inverell last night, with the Inverell Boys Club hosting a fight night. There was a range of bouts with local fighters doing well.
Regular amateur boxing is making a comeback in the northwest. Inverell Boys Boxing Club started things off last night, although the action was almost as good outside the ring. Attracting boxers from as far as the north coast, 2 coastal fighters shaped up with the main junior bout. In the red singlet, Rodney Young of Dorrigo looked to have Jason Hartman's measure. The young Grafton fighter didn't back down, although both felt the heat of battle. Hartman going on to score a narrow points win. The next fight was an exhibition bout with 2 Inverell boxers. One fighter looked anything but a picture when he got more than he bargained for. Crowd support was obvious in the feature fight of the night. Lee Roberts from Casino literally falling over to get at local boy Tim Mutimer. The visiting fighter trying a bit too hard for that knockout blow. Mutimer was boxing well and had a vocal hometown crowd to help him through the 3-round fight. In the end, Roberts just couldn't keep going. Mutimer winning, and his trainer couldn't have been happier. Jim Callanan, NBN News.
The Tamworth Water Polo Association has begun its push to revitalise the sport at a local and regional level. Known for its dominance at country level throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Tamworth has produced several stars, including current Australian representatives Nathan Thomas and Craig Miller. Local officials hope to lift the sport's profile by strengthening teams for regional and state competition. Linda, that's Sunday Sport.
Thanks, Jonathan.